Hi, it's Ren Jackson for 615 South Band, and I'm here with a very talented Nathan Leazer.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes.
First time we've met.
It is, and it's just been a pleasure. It's nice to meet you.
So, congratulations on the single.
Thank you.
First
Thank
of all,
you. Thank you.
I want to know what the inspiration behind it was.
Well, truthfully, that song is the oldest original that I have. I wrote it back in 2018 with a guy named Jeremy Vess. It's a dear friend of mine, and it was actually before I even learned how to play guitar, before I knew how to do anything, and I was just starting to sing publicly. So I went to him, I said, man, I just want to write a song. He's like, all right, dude, let's do it this weekend. He shows up, he's like, meet me at the church, because we went to church together. He's like, meet me at the church, we'll write one. We get there, and he's like, yeah, dude, I woke up with this melody, and we literally wrote this song. It was like, okay, we're going to write a country song. And then we just went through different topics in our minds, like, okay, it's about a man. We want it to be about a man who's lost everything. And, he's just kind of in frustration with God, with himself, with everything around him. And I think, truthfully, yeah, it sounds cliche, but at the end of the day, I think we can all relate with that, because whether you've lost a family member, you've lost, a relationship, or you lost a job. Me personally, I've been through all that, so
Me too.
what better song to write?
I always 3 chords and the truth, right?
That's right.
And that's why we love it, because country is so raw. The emotion that comes through the songwriting, the storytelling.
100%, yeah.
So I totally understand that. Are you excited about playing the big Roadhouse weekend next year? So
Absolutely. I'm stoked. I'm so pumped, because after seeing how this has turned out tonight, the Roadhouse Unplugged, I can only imagine what it's going to be like next year. So
it's a great venue.
Big ups to the Roadhouse crew.
I would like to know, do you find inspiration in your songs is changing now that you live predominantly in the UK? Because culture's different.
Yeah.
Is your mind's expanding? It's opening to new experiences over here, is it?
I think, so you look at older artists, you got people like James Taylor, Paul Simon, and you've got all these incredible, Bob Dylan, artists. Why did they come here, and why did they choose here to feel like they can get their kickstart? And I have to say, I don't even know why they did, but I know why I did is because I felt a freedom here that I hadn't felt back home. I think that's kind of how we all can feel at times, being stuck in our own environment. But definitely being in this environment has helped me to expand, what I say, how I write it, how I enunciate when I'm performing it, because I don't want it to just mumble together, because before I came here, I felt I had a tendency to do that. And now that I'm in the UK, if I talk too fast, people are like, what? So I'm like, okay, I got to slow down a little bit. But it's actually helped me be more mindful while I'm on stage.
Do you feel like the pressure's off in the UK a little bit more?
Sometimes, but also I think the pressure can feel like it's on because of how quiet people can get when they're really listening. They're listening. Whereas sometimes back home, I've been in crowds where it's just I can barely hear myself singing. That's no dish back home. I love it. But, it's a different crowd. And I tend to find that the crowds in the UK are a lot more observant, a lot more intimate, and I love that.
So my next question is, on the subject of Britain, what's your favourite British food and why?
I have to go with, the typical, jacket potato.
Yes!
Baked potato is what we call back home. Baked potato with beans and cheese, sour cream.
My favourite.
Throw some onions in there and some bacon.
Okay, so I had a little look and I was very inspired by what you've been doing recently online in regards to men's mental health and speaking out. Mental health for me, mindfulness is so important as well. So I want to know from you, when you're not feeling your most confident self, what is your self-care routine to bring you, to ground you, to regulate, to make you feel like you again?
Yeah, great question. Truthfully, it's different every time, because as an artist, just as a man, things we go through and things we face day to day, it's like we got super high highs, and then sometimes it's just super low lows. And I tend to find myself at that place a lot of times, but here recently, and this year specifically, my routine's really just been to look at myself in the mirror, tell myself, okay, you're good enough, you're worthy, you are gonna succeed, you're a great singer, you're a great artist. Just go through affirmations, telling yourself that, repeating that, and do it about 25 times every time you do it, 25 times and believe it. And every day, try to write something, even if it's just a word or two. Start a journal, and you know, a lot of times that journaling just turns into writing a song.
Writing a song.
Even just this past 3 months, I've written 5 songs.
Wow.
It's just like, they've just been flowing. And I think it just comes from being, you know, mindful and being conscious of how I'm feeling and why I'm feeling that way.
I love that. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
What tips would you give to new artists starting out? So someone like myself who's
Yeah.
just got back into music after a very long hiatus and finding their feet again.
Yeah.
Or just starting out.
I'd say, first of all, pick up your instrument, get to your instrument, pull up a chair, if you're a piano player, whatever you play, and just play. And just strum, put your heart into it, learn what you can. For me personally, I learned 4 chords. That was G, D, E minor, and C. And you can play about 10,000 different country songs with that. But from there, it was like I learned to play wagon wheel, and then I learned, you know, I was like, okay, I know wagon wheel. What can I write? So it was like I wanted to put my own words to it. So just start doing that. You know, write poems. Start with poems. Get an idea of how poems work. Read up on them. Learn, you know, the different structures of poems and songs. I learned how to write music. A lot of what I learned was off YouTube. I went on YouTube and taught myself to play guitar. I learned how to produce my first 3 singles. I taught myself how to write songs. There's a lot you can learn from the palm of your hand.
From YouTube as well.
Yeah.
So, we're going to do a this or that.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Morgan Wallen or Post Malone?
Post Malone.
Ooh. Willie Nelson or George Strait?
George Strait. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
He's my man.
That's a tough one. Luke Combs or Zach Bryan?
Luke Combs. North Carolina boy.
Yes. What's an artist who makes you happy? Who's an artist that makes you happy?
Rustin Kelly. He's an artist not many people heard of. He blends a bit of emotional, bluesy, soul, country, all into one. Just look him up.
Okay. What country song breaks your heart?
Oh man, breaks my heart. Letters from Home by Montgomery Gentry. Yeah, I think that's it. Montgomery Gentry. If not, don't mark me on that. But it's called Letters from Home. Yeah.
Okay, so dream collab.
Cody Johnson.
Oh,
I love to collab with him. Love his voice. It's just great.
I love Till I Can't.
Yes,
That is a big song for me. So, one song in the country charts this year that you wish you'd have written.
Dirt Cheap
Dirt Cheap.
by Cody
okay.
Johnson. I wish I wrote that. It's a great song.
So if you're listening, Cody, we need a collab. Well, thank you so much for spending time out here in the freezing cold with me.
Yeah,
It's
let's
been
get back in
lovely
and get
to meet
warm.
you.
Thank you. Shout out to Southbound 615.